okay, this person, they have signs that they might be a racist, but maybe it's just maybe they just have some misconceptions from their youth, right? Maybe they're, a lot of racism is usually an inherited thing. You learn it from your parents, you learn it from their parents, you learn it from their parents, and so on and so forth, right? It's you're not really born racist. You're taught racism. That's the way that it tends to work. You look at little kids playing together. They don't give a fuck about what color the other kid is. Little kids just want to play together. With a situation like that, should you become friends with that person or build any kind of bond with that person to try to help them better themselves and get away from this hateful rhetoric that they have had pushed into their lives? Hey, Pucho, why don't you let those people know what they got to do if they made it this far?
All right, if you made it this far, that means you're loyal. But you need to do more, okay? Hit the like, subscribe, ring-a-ling the motherfucking ding-a-ling so you know when we posting this shit, all right? And we're all over the place. We're on Spotify. We're on not Pandora. I was just about to say that. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Amazon, whatever the fuck they got, the music shit. Apple Podcasts, obviously, which is like the fucking biggest podcasting service that we're not going to mention.
We're on Good Pods.
We're on Good Pods, which is cool. We're on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. We got a Discord, all right? We got to share the link out. So, we're going to start some additional channels, some extra chats, all that shit. Y'all could come on here, post. We try to build a community out here. So, thank you for listening so far. We still got some more shit to go. Give it back to Mattio.
Good shit, dude. Cool. So we are going a little bit heavier here. I think this might be our heavy topic of our trio. But I think that it's a worthwhile conversation. I mean, I'm from the South. Y'all are from the South originally. Doey's, East Coast boy, Florida boy, hybrid thing that he's got going on. There's a lot of people you meet in the South that have some, let's say, old school values and opinions. And sometimes, even though they're friends with you, a minority, they say some shit. They say some wild stuff that makes you wonder, is this man racist or not? So the question is,
some people still fly the rebel flag.
Yeah, there's a lot of that Confederate flag down here. Those dudes believe the South is going to rise again, I guess. So the question is, can you be friends with those people? Like, is that something that you personally think is doable? Can you be friends with a racist or a possible racist or whatever terminology you would like to use?
You want to go first, though?
No. Wrap the show up, guys. This topic's over.
Out of here.
Next top, no.
Get us the fuck out of here. I think, man, because I have worked with some very obviously racist people, and I've tolerated them because it's a place of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've had some people use some real fucked up verbiage around me. Mostly towards immigrants and gay people. So heard a lot of the F word and stuff like that. And even when I didn't have any gay friends, it still kind of made me feel a certain way when people said that word. And I was like, Like I always felt it as an insult. I was like, okay, this is clearly not in a good way. So it always struck me when people are being overtly racist and when they use verbiage like those, about those people. You know the way they are, right? Like they'll say things like that and it'll be like, damn.
Yeah, it's that shit. It's that shit people say at work that is not quite racist enough to be like HR, but it's like, I don't want to bring this man around for dinner.
Yeah. So
I would never contact HR. I have a fear of authority, okay? I feel like if I contact the cops for something, that it's gonna rope me into a problem somehow. I'm gonna get fucked somehow, and I just don't want to deal.
I have multiple written incidents from my time in a much more corporate company here in Austin that say that I have a problem with authority. Not even a fear of authority, a problem with authority.
I got a problem with authority. So I'm with you.
There was a tweet that I replied to earlier where someone was talking about the word belligerent. I was like, you know what? Nothing makes me more belligerent than being called belligerent.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a guy at my job that was like, he was just like, yeah, when I was in high school, I was one of those white guys who used to think they were black. I like to listen to the rap music. I wear the baggy pants. And I was like, dude, you're talking to the wrong one. Find another. I ain't that dude for this conversation. I ain't entertaining this. Like, you talking crazy, right? Like, and then I had another guy that just started bringing up like some shit that was happening in the Middle East, and then he referred to some I don't remember what it was, but some people were getting killed in the Middle East by something, and he referred to the people there as like towel heads, right? I wouldn't never call no, and I'm just like, all right, I'm not talking to this guy no more. So like even at work, right, a place where I've had to be cordial with people that I would never talk to in my daily life. Like even at work, I'm like, all right, I'm cutting these people off as much as I can. Like maybe there's an email that I gotta send or respond to, or maybe there's a conversation that gotta be had. But like I ain't fucking with you. Like we ain't chatting no more. Like now I know you're a piece of shit. Like you're down to microwave fish at work. Okay, I know the type of person you are now. You're a piece of shit.
You're a line stepper.
You crossed the line. But nah, if there's a person that I think is racist, there's no fucking way that I could be cool with them. Or even like truly like homophobic. I'm sorry, not homophobic, because the word has people take issue with the word. If I got the feeling that you hate gay people, I'm not fucking with you. Like you good. You go live your life. I'm not bothering with that. I think where we find a lot of issue amongst with one another is we don't all agree on what makes somebody like somebody who hates gay people or someone who's a racist. Like we don't agree on that. So then that's where I think it gets hairy, where I might look at a friend that like so and so has, and I'm like, how the fuck you could be friends with that racist? And he might be like, well, he ain't a racist. And I'm like, well, clearly, blah, you know what I mean? And
that's where I find myself, because I have known white dudes that use the N word with the A at the end, but I don't think a white person should use that fucking word in general. Like, I don't think it matters whether you're doing the A, the hard ER at the end. It doesn't matter. The N word is not your word to use. I don't think you should use it. But to what extent does it make a white dude racist if they're using that? Like it almost goes back into our like cultural appropriation conversation. Like if it's a white dude that grew up in the ghetto and they hung out with a bunch of like black and brown dudes that gave him the cosign their entire fucking life.
Yeah, I don't think you could tell that person that. Yeah, but I think you're right. That you're correct. If you're raised in circumstances where you were allowed to say those words and people gave you the pass, I think you have more of, I guess, a pass to like say it. But I think if somebody is going to check you on it and be like, hey, let's not use that word, I think you have less of a reason to fight back against it. I just think.
But I would operate in the assumption that people have checked you. Like you've been checked, whether you got the pass from your black and brown friends back in high school. You're 30 something years old at this point. You've been checked. Someone's been like, "What's up with you using that word, dude? you're the same color as the moon up in the sky right now. What's going on with you using that word?" So I would assume people have been checked. It's I don't know, man. It's
Almost everybody's been checked. Like, I've been in places where it's just black people, and amongst us, where people would whip out like I've had friends that are just like, yo, I don't like nobody saying this word around me. Like, I just don't want to hear it. It don't matter if you white or black or whatever the fuck. I don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, like that's a back then I was like, this is radical. Like, this dude is fucking crazy. This is how we talk. What are you talking about? And I don't know. As I've gotten older, I've been more sympathetic to the idea that I don't know. I feel like there's some words you probably shouldn't say no more. Like they don't add. They don't. There's not a lot of value to use, in my opinion.
That's where I'm at with it. I mean, y'all know me. That's never been my word since y'all have known me. I've mentioned this before. I was an edgy, douchey teenager once upon a time, and I definitely said some words to just evoke, reactions from people because I was a douchebag. But that's not the man I want to be anymore. That's not the person that I am now. That's not how I want to represent myself. And I just wish that more people that I meet down here in Texas had grown out of that edgy stage. Had grown out of just wanting that attention by being like, oh, I'm a white dude that says the N-word. Look at me, I'm so edgy.
Arrested development is a real thing.
Because how do you differentiate someone that's saying a word ironically from someone that is an actual legit racist? Like what how do you make that distinction? What is that distinction?
I would say the inflections and the way that they're using it and stuff like that. Yeah, like that. Like it'd have to be in how they're saying it and what type of situation they're using to describe or whatever.
I feel like people should have more respect too. Like,
for sure.
If Mateo was like, yo, let's go hang out with my friends, we're going to some place, I'm gonna read the room before I'm gonna engage in how I'm gonna be around these people. Like, and I find that sometimes when I bring some people around, I gotta like preemptively, I'm like, all right, we're gonna be around some not ghetto people, so check your ghetto. Like, we need to talk a little different around these people because they'll start looking at us crazy if we start talking the way we normally talk, right? Like, I gotta have that conversations with people sometimes. And it's like, I kind of wish that people operated under the assumption of like, like when people's mamas is around and everybody gets real correct, they don't want to curse, and they're talking real clean and all that. That's how people should be when they're around new people. They should just kind of respect the environment and read their friends, see the energy their friend is bringing, and go, okay, cool, I could match this, or okay, he's being himself, maybe I could be myself, or you know what I'm saying? Too many people want to be gung-ho, be around brand new people, and then just come out of pocket with some shit, and then it's like, all right, I don't know. And then the flip side
what
too.
What would you tell people who can't code switch? Who can't
fucking learn? You're gonna fail at life if you can't code switch. If you grew up in the ghetto and you, like myself, and you got no way to turn the ghetto off, yo, good luck. That you're gonna run into some problems in life, and probably the only way you're gonna be able to handle these things is to be combative. Then, like if somebody tries to check you, it's because I guess you can't not say it. You're just gonna have to be aggressive about this. I'm gonna talk the way I talk, or I'm gonna piece the fuck out. Like, those are your two options now. I don't know. I would say learn. Like, I don't know. Like, feels like a survival skill at this point, where it's just like, I don't know. Like, you never had to like not curse around your moms. Like, come on, we all learn how to code switch real young. Like,
that's absolutely true. Everyone knows some form of code switching. You
how to behave around their grandmothers.
You don't talk around your parents and your grandparents the same way you talk around your friends. And if you do, you're a little bit weird. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but you're a little weird. To give y'all a real life situation from
sorry, sorry, not to cut you off, but I'm cutting you off intentionally. Not to say weird. Because again, people take a lot of offense with the very specific words they use. I would say that it's not common.
Yeah.
Most people in the world do not talk with their moms or with their mothers around the exact way that they talk when they're just friends. Like, you know what I mean? There's a difference. Even if it's small, there's certain words. Even me, there's certain words I don't want to say. And from a young age, my mother's been really open verbally with us that as I've gotten older, my mom is like a friend. Like, we just chat. But there's still some words I'm not saying in front of my mom's because I'm like, she might get offended. You know what I'm saying? I need to be careful. Like,
Dude, absolutely the same. My dad is I have a fantastic relationship with my dad and my mom, right? And my dad's a truck driver. The man can swear. So I'll swear around my dad all day, but there are certain ways of putting words together and sentences together that just doesn't happen with my dad. It doesn't feel right. It's not the way that I talk to my parents. But to give y'all a real life situation that I have run into here in Texas, I'm not going to give any specifics, but like I have met people from work before that I was like, oh, okay, this guy's pretty cool. We've gone and hung out outside. We chatted. We smoked cigarettes back when I was a cigarette smoker. We have our smoke break conversations, and I was like, this guy is pretty cool, right? Invited to go over to play video games and drink beers or whatever. And you get over and you see the big old Confederate flag hanging behind the TV. And they make, with a situation like that, where it's like, okay, this person, they have signs that they might be a racist, but maybe it's just, maybe they just have some misconceptions from their youth, right? Maybe they're, a lot of racism is usually an inherited thing. You learn it from your parents, you learn it from their parents, you learn it from their parents, and so on and so forth, right? It's you're not really born racist. You're taught racism. That's the way that it tends to work. You look at little kids playing together. They don't give a fuck about what color the other kid is. Little kids just want to play together. With a situation like that, should you become friends with that person or build any kind of bond with that person to try to help them better themselves and get away from this hateful rhetoric that they have had pushed into their lives, even if it hasn't made them a full-on racist necessarily, but they have those tendencies? Is there some kind of obligation that we have as members of society or people that want to make the world a better place to try to fix that?
I think yes. I think, yeah, if you have a chance at doing that, at allowing someone to view a perspective, because a lot of the times these people are closed off to other people's opinions that are very different from theirs. So obviously they're obvious is they're going to close off against those people. But if you've made it past those gates where they closed off and you could kind of reason with them and talk to them, I think, yeah, the conversation needs to happen. Especially living here in America and what's happening to America, where we're just this big melting pot of people. Yeah, I don't think there's room for that type of racism really anymore.
Yeah, there's some discourse on Twitter that I've seen about this. I've seen it with Nazis, I've seen it with skinheads, I've seen it with racists and whatnot. I'm pretty left leaning, that I'm not all the way left, but I'm pretty left leaning. I'm pretty hard left. But I don't agree with a lot of the purity tests that exist in leftist culture. There's a lot of rhetoric that, you can't. Nazis need to be killed. Racist people need to be just executed and extreme shit like that. And I think that's so crazy. I think that I think we have an obligation to try to make the world better. I think we have an obligation to
There's a word for it. Virtue signaling or some shit like that.
There's some aspects of it that could fall into that. I think a lot of it is just a lot of naivety. It's a lot of not understanding that you can't. I don't know. I don't want to be part of a society that builds itself off of bodies. That's the complaint about the U.S., right? The U.S. has taken over property from the Native Americans and brown people and black people, and this entire empire is built on dead bodies and the backs of all these people that were taken advantage of. And you want to fix that by building another society on the backs of the execution and the deaths of people. It doesn't add up to me. It doesn't makes sense. Maybe I'm idealistic. Maybe I'm the naive one, but I don't think that's the way to go about it. I think you can rehab people. We've talked about this in our rehabilitation episode. I think that you can save most people.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's levels to it. Well, not the fucking killing Nazis. I'm not interested in that. But like the whole you've made a friend, and let's say you guys are really good fucking friends, and then you find out that he be having the Confederate flag and shit like that. At that point, I'd probably be like, is this a person that I'm actually like close to, or like I want to be close to? Like I like this person. If I do, then I'll probably continue to pursue that relationship and try to inform or share information or whatever the fuck that I think might help them realize that, you know, some aspects of their life are controversial and viewed, you know, very poorly by society. The obligation thing, though, it makes me feel weird because it's almost like there's a group of people that are being like, I don't know, oppressed, for lack of a better word, by certain ideologies and symbols and things like that. And then it feels like people are saying those people that are being oppressed have the obligation to go and educate the people that are better off, that should have the means to educate themselves, you know, with the internet and oftentimes they're better education and all of that, and they just don't, or they haven't, or whatever. I don't know, something about that rubs me the wrong way, but
I definitely agree. It's fucked up that the oppressed have to be the ones to free their oppressors from like this hateful rhetoric, right? Like it doesn't make sense. It's not the way it should be. And I don't know how to write that. I don't know how to fix that, but I can tell you that not trying to help people, not trying to fix people, does not make the problem any better. We're not going to get rid of Nazis in America by I don't know, by not like, I don't know. The solution to Nazis in America is not to kill every Nazi in America. I think it just makes more Nazis. I think that's all that shit like that does. It just further fractures people. But I don't know what the alternative would be. I just there's that guy the guy that comes to mind is that Daryl guy. We were talking about him before the podcast. He's befriended like something like 200 KKK members and convinced them to turn in their robes. And I don't think that I can feel right in saying that we all have an obligation to do this. I'm not saying that we all have to go out and become best friends with a KKK member and try to go on this course. But I don't think that hate defeats hate. I think that just living your best life and trying to show people that their ways are ignorant, that their ways are rooted in bad parenting and generational idiocy is a better way to go about it. But I don't know what the methods are. I have no idea what the methods are to actually turn someone from that path. I have not had any success in my life. The most success I've had is convincing some white friends that, like, hey man, you shouldn't say the N-word. It's not your word. You shouldn't say that. That's the most success I've had in my life. So I'm not any kind of expert here at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it just happens through conversation and being around other people. Like, I mean, I've learned a lot by the friends that I have and the conversations that we have, that I've kind of tweaked some of my beliefs because I feel like my beliefs were wrong before, or, you know, things like that. So, I mean, I think it's through conversation. And we've seen that, like, you know, all within each other, the usually four of us on the pod, we've all had conversations where we disagree on things, and then later we reflect on those conversations. You go, you know what? Some of that stuff, even though in the moment I fought against it, you know, thinking about it, like, you know, there's some ideas there that I think are right, and maybe I need to rethink some of my views. So I don't know. I think having certain conversations like that I think it depends on the tone. Like if you go, hey, you know you're a real piece of shit for flying that flag, right? Like you ain't never gonna convince nobody like that. So I think it's how you come at somebody. Same way if you want to check somebody who's, saying words or whatever, and you don't think they should be allowed to say it. Like the way that you check them could be all the difference, right? If you're like, yo, if you're just like, yo, no, I'm not, trying to disrespect that, but just, just try not to say the N-word around me. I'd appreciate it. I feel like most people would be receptive to that. But if you go at somebody telling and demanding them not to do something, I feel like naturally people are combative. Well, most people are nice, but I think there's plenty of combative people that are gonna be like, nah, like you tripping, like fuck you, and then it's a problem. Then it's all right. How prideful are you? Now are you gonna fight for this, or maybe you pissed the other guy off so much that he's gonna? And it's like, all right, this is all fucked up already.
Yeah, no, absolutely. People dig in more depending on how you'd come at them. Like there's a psychological phenomenon about this, about like when you question people's beliefs, it makes them dig into that belief even more. Even if they have no evidence to back up their reason for feeling that way, it just makes them dig in more. It's just not a super effective strategy. What about you, Do? Do you think we have an obligation to be the change in the world? You think that what are your thoughts here?
Some people are mentally equipped to talk someone out of their racism, but I don't think just because you can't talk someone out of your racism, you can't make an impact in someone's life to make them actually question the ways that they were taught. So I would say if you are the type of person where you want to avoid conflict, then that's fine. Like you don't have to change everyone that comes around you, but I think what would be nice is if you yourself would be impactful enough to help that person realize, you know what I mean? That person would realize through you and your friendship that maybe there's something else to this whole thing. For lack of better words, I don't really have the right answer because I think it's very complex.
Dude, if we had the right answer, we would be doing way greater things than our little tiny podcast here, because this is the question that's plagued America for 100 years, a couple hundred
There's
years
so
since its creation.
We'd write a book about it and then do a book tour. We tell people that the answer to everything is inside this book. If only you'd buy my book for $14.99.
3 installments at $14.99.
Oh,
3
shit, we're on the
installments
infomercial.
of $299
and 99 cents.
But wait,
secret to
if
life.
you call in the next 10 minutes, you could get it for $11.99.
You get 2 of them.
Oh, we'll toss in this wonderful fish tank to go, and you're like, what the fuck? Why do I want this random fucking item?
And a ShamWow.
Damn. I got a couple of those things. Those things work.
Do they really?
Yeah, they're good. They soak up a lot of liquid. They feel weird. It feels like they suck the liquid out of your hands. It's really weird. Like when you use it, there's like a feeling of like dryness in your hand. So like
You got to O'Keefe's up afterwards then.
you got to O'Keefe's up. Like ShamWow to O'Keefe's. It's a good combo.
Somewhere here is a commercial for O'Keefe's. We just haven't realized it yet. But listen, hold up.
Working hands for a working man.
Oh, he's going to get his O'Keefe stuff. Oh, he's got the big one.
Oh, oops.
Got the big boy one.
The tub, the cream. Hey, I got the fucking this
Ooh,
A1.
chunky.
Look at that.
I'm still not on this O'Keefe's train. I need to check this shit out.
It's good.
Chunky. They talked to me the other day because I got their so basically they made antibacterial soap, but they also put their cream in the soap. So it like washes and you have lotion at the same time. It's weird.
Y'all, this is not an ad. We're not sponsored by O'Keefe's or anything.
We're gonna be sponsored by O'Keefe's, okay? I'm just putting it into existence.
I mean, as soon as we get the Twitter handle of our mailman, O'Keefe's will fucking accept their sponsor.
Oh yeah, I don't know what kind of monster is. They said if you like O'Keefe's working hands, tag your favorite mailman. I said, who has their mailman's fucking Twitter? What's going on here?
It's fucking absurd.
So, to sum everything up, racism's complicated, and we don't know whether you should or shouldn't try to fix people. But I think that if you feel that you are equipped to do so, I don't think that there is I think that you should try. I think that we should always try to make the world a better place. And in my mind, a better place is a world where we can all just get along a little bit better and we can recognize each other. And my better world that I want to see does not involve, hate and killing and things of that nature. But it's complicated. It's very complicated. And I don't know if we have an obligation to do that because it's a lot of work. And as Buchel said, I don't know that it should be the work of the oppressed to free their oppressors from hateful rhetoric.